I am muted. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Wee woo. What's going on here? Everything running. Looks like it. Kick is having fun. Okay. I really don't like the... Hold on, why is the mic so high? Let's go. I really don't like the YouTube overlay. Let's start with a little bit of drawing. Can always switch later. Let's get my messages out. Okay. Let's see, we were with the dragon, right? Ooh, something. Can I press this shift too? Nice. Let's get this color. Color in like the border of it. I think I want this darker. I can't see my chat, hold on, something's wrong. There we go. Fixed it. Let's see. There's some shadow missing on here. And this. This should be a little bit darker, I feel like. Something like this. No, this is lighter. Oh, this dark is kind of fucked up. Let's grab this. Let's promote you. Come in, yeah, my friend. I believe you are spam. Right, no, I want to ban you. Let's go. And we're back. Let's get a smaller brush. What the fuck just happened? Okay, you are kind of shaded. Not as dark. It's like, ooh. This looks dark. No, even darker. Ooh, yeah. Ooh. Go a little bit further down with that shadow. I fixed my, like the server I used to restream to multiple platforms because, well, I don't really have the bandwidth at my home to do that. But I fixed like the restream. Problem is I need a darker. Hold on. Yeah, like this. The problem is that sometimes my internet goes out for like no reason. And well, I can push like my stream to my restream server, and if I can't, like everything else goes down. So I've been trying to how you say yeah, get like a backup stream that pops up as soon as my stream goes down, but I have not been able to get that get that working. It's funny how much shadow can give you a feeling of three-dimensional stuff. What is this? Why is this blue? Hold on. That's interesting. Why do we have a blue color over here, huh? Does it work well with the... Kind of. Ooh, that was a misclick. What are we... Again, a misclick. So here we have this color, and we have this color, and of course we have the normal color. Interesting. Probably gonna do something with that. Let's get you. And we're gonna shade in this part. Let's see, I think I need a sketch for this one. Yes, I do. What the fuck just happened? Hello? Where's all my stuff? Oh, there it is. Just need to spam Ctrl Z. Classic. We get some lighter color around here. And gonna need to get this somehow shined on. And let's hide the sketch again. And blend this in. And like this flat color down here. Why can I? Okay, I think I need to move. Yes. It's really annoying that my mouse kind of shuts off. Which results in like I can move with my pen, right? And I can click with my mouse, but I'm currently moving my mouse and it takes a while for it to kick back in after I use my pen for some reason. Let's get this a bit bigger again and blend in. There we go. Ooh, something popped. Again. Oh, it's the delete button. That's interesting. It's very close to control on my keyboard, so that's kind of annoying. Gotta maybe look into... Oh, that one was a bit too far. Maybe look into getting the key binding resigned. Hey, Zero Ideas, how's it going? The first kick chatter. This is also way too bright. Something around here is wrong. Let's consult the sketch. Should this be this bright? I don't know. Who knows? Hold on. Something is weird. That's not what I wanted to do. Well, never mind that. Okay, now the light will kind of follow the spine over here. Which will then... will it be a shadow? Yeah, it will cast a shadow. Okay. Let's get a sketch off. Okay. I don't think actually it's... I think it's more bright over here. It will get darker down here. Ooh. You know what? Let's start with the physics tutorial. Okay, so I've seen... Hold on. I've seen some... where's my mouse? What the fuck? I think I need to restart this. That is some weird behavior. Let's see, do we have... No. Okay. Dude, this is... Okay. Do I need to... Maybe stay... No. Why is my mouse gone? Hello? What is happening? Okay, let's see if I can hit the close button. Oh. Yeah, I can't work like this. Let's get a new... What is happening? Heh. What the fuck? I never had this happen. My mouse is just straight up gone. Huh? Is it because of Krita? Okay, you are manipulating my mouse to do some stuff. This is wild. Do I have to... QT underscore QT platform, maybe like this. It's insane. Cursor's there, I go in, it disappears. What? But it still exists, like I can, if I actually hit it, close this. And then create new. What? Nani? Help? Wait, what happens if I... Session has the same issue. Look at this. How am I supposed to work like this? I don't know what's happening. Like, here it makes sense. My cursor becomes a brush. Maybe if I keep the cursor on here, okay? This would make no sense at all. Okay, yeah, it does not work. Oh, sorry. I am flabbergasted. That's the word. That's a funny word. Wayland cursor disappears. I thought, what? Same issue. Nah, mate, fixed it. Anyone else run river like this? Yeah, I'm not doing that. Solved. Ha 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 ha. Aha. We're gonna try this one. No hardware cursors 1. Creator. Nope, that did not work. Yeah, this is very funny. But I can't really do my tutorial I'm supposed to do now, can I? And it's only over Inochi stuff, like Firefox works, Krita works. I don't know. Does OBS work? Hold on. Also works. Everything works except for session and creator. This is wild. What? How am I supposed to do my physics tutorial? Maybe this is the problem. Hold on. I know exactly what to do. Okay, my tablet works. My mouse just doesn't work. That makes even less sense. Hold on. What the fuck? Huh? Okay, as long as I use my tablet it works. If I take the pen off, it just disappears. Well, I guess we're doing this without... Do I have right click? Oh, I do. Okay, I guess we're doing this with a tablet instead of a mouse. Interesting. So I've seen a couple of questions on the Discord about how this actually works, like about how all of the different parameters work individually. So we create a new 2D parameter to see the parameters. Let's start with the pendulum. The gravity scale is very simple. Like, we can swing it around like this, and if we increase this to like 5, it will get a lot springier, like it will get pulled to the middle a lot faster. And we can even increase this, I don't know, 16. Like, this is very rigid, as you can see. I believe if you're fast enough you can still affect it, but yeah, that's what the gravity does. Length is, in my opinion, the most important variable to change. Usually I fit it to the length of the part that I want to move. That way it makes a lot more sense together with the movement of the part. So, I mean, it's also pretty straightforward. Like, this is 200 now. We can still increase the gravity and it will have the same stiffness effect. Now the resonant frequency, this is a parameter that only works on the spring, similar to the gravity. So currently it's a normal spring that bounces up and down. If we increase it to like 10, it's very stiff. And on the other hand, if we decrease it to like 0.1, it's still a spring, but it travels very slowly. Same with the gravity scale. If we set it to 0.1, let's set this to 1 again. It's moving a lot slower. The damping, the first parameter affects the pendulum. So if I increase it to 1, and let's set the stiffness very high. So if I increase it to 1, it will always fall back, but it will only fall back to the original position where it's pointing straight down. So, hold on. This is actually affecting the pendulum too. There's no way, right? No. Yeah, that... Okay, yeah, I was right. Now if you have a spring pendulum, apparently the spring affects the movement too. Interesting to know. So the damping on 1 means that it will always move slowly back to the original position. Values below 1, like let's go extreme 0.2, will lead to an overswing. So if let's get this back to a pendulum. If I swing this, you can see it will overcorrect and swing back and forth. And values higher than 1 will simply just lead to even slower descents back to the original position. Okay, so the second damping parameter affects the spring the same way the first one does the pendulum. So if we set this to 1, it will simply slowly go back to the original position, and any values higher than 1 will just lead to even slower like going back to the original position. And values lower than 1 will mean that you will bounce back and forth a lot. So let's reset this to 0.5. The output scale is only relevant for the parameter outputs. So currently we go from -1 to 1 on both axes, and 1 will always be correspondent to the length. So if I have this to xy, right? Hold on. Oh yes, a spring pendulum. I want a pendulum. Okay, if I have this at xy, 1 to 1 means that for a pendulum, the value will always be locked to like the semicircle from like this corner all the way over the middle to this corner. And I mean, you can see that. So with a pendulum, you won't need the bottom part, just like 1 to 0 on the y-axis. When you have a spring pendulum, you run into the issue that you're no longer just restricted to the length. So this can lead to you going out of bounds, depending on how stiff you have the resonant frequency. And if we set the length back to 100, the standard, you can see that the default values, if you keep them in every parameter, that you will easily just jump outside of the parameter. So I would recommend, if you use a spring pendulum, to increase the size of this box and also increase the length, so that the change in length compared to the overall length is a lot smaller. The next thing I would recommend you to do is figure out where you want all your key points based on the normal output scale. So if I have a pendulum that swings like this, I might want to set the key points just in the default parameter. If I of course move very erratically, I might want to increase the hold on. I might want to increase the the constraints of the parameter so that I will still stay inside of it. After you have set all the key points and it looks pretty good, then I would start fine-tuning with the output parameter scale, the output scale, so that so that you can like make it a little bit more how you want it to be. I wouldn't set the output scale to values like 30 or something. I don't see the reason. It will be mapped onto a parameter anyway. So why not just keep it at 1, keep everything here at 1, except if you maybe want to like set it to the length and then have the parameter also the length. It just doesn't make sense. Keep it at 1, set all of your points at 1, and afterwards fine-tune the output with this with the scale. Yeah, and now that we understand how to make these things, we can make some real life, we can imitate some real life examples. Like for example, if we have something like the door springs, let's see, door springs, door stopper spring. Yeah, if we want to model something like this, right? We know that it is, it goes back and forth very fast. So we need to increase the gravity scale. Let's set it to, I don't know, maybe 10. Actually, let's set it to like 5. So now it's a lot stiffer. And if we set the damping to like 0.1, we now have something like the door stopper spring. Or if we want to imitate like a very slow moving cloud, we can... What was that? Nothing. Okay. We can set the gravity to like 0.2, the resonant frequency to 0.2. I would usually keep these two very similar, unless you have like special cases where that's not required. And the damping I would set to a higher value, where we don't overcorrect, to 1 in both cases. Let's get the original output scale. You can see yeah, always make sure that if you have a spring pendulum, you don't accidentally have like stuff where the length gets too short, because that will cause kind of weird behavior. But as you can see, we have like a cloud that is slowly trailing behind the actual like that's slowly trailing behind the root node. Well, not the root node, I guess the actual coordinates of this thing. Oh, also there's this button, local transform lock, which means if you have this inside of a node and the node moves, the physics won't move. Hey Kaiser Blue, how's it going? Let's quickly go over the mapping modes. These are always X and Y on the parameter list. So you can have a one-dimensional parameter where you have just the angle, just X, just the length, or just Y. Or a two-dimensional parameter where you have angle and length on X and Y, or X and Y coordinates of the point, and so on. Going over to you, well, people have been asking how to do physics on a Discord, so I'm now explaining it. Also, very funny bug. I don't know how this happened, but when I use my graphics tablet to move my mouse, you can see my mouse, right? Now if I remove the pen from the tablet, it just disappears. I can still like the cursor still exists, but I can't see it. And this only happens in Inochi Creator and Session. Other programs are completely fine. But for some reason here I have to use my tablet so I can actually see my mouse. Did I forget anything about physics? Technology working as always. It is, yes. Also, I have reconfigured my restreaming server. Now I can stream to Kick, YouTube and Twitch. The problem is, if my internet goes down, I still don't have a backup solution for that. So yeah, trying to figure out how to get like a spin up a backup, like just like a static image that that plays whenever my internet just goes down, which for some reason happened like the last 2 days for like just like a couple seconds, but like my stream is interrupted. It's annoying. I don't like it. You know how it happens, right? Okay, I think the tutorial is done. I will cut that at some point. Where's my control over here? That's an annoying place for this button. Yeah, relatable. Oh, actually you are in the Discord, right? Hold on. I wanted to hang out in the... How do I switch accounts? Let's go. I wanted to be hanging out in the... Yes, allow. Thank you. I wanted to hang out in the Discord. What the fuck happened to my voice? Why is it changed now? Can you hear this? Did something change for you? Is it just me? I think it's just... I hope it's just me. Hold on. Let's check. Gonna pull this over here. And we got... Why can't I move this? God damn it. Okay, this is the Discord mic, which for some reason has... I don't know, this is probably just imagining things. And this all goes in here. Oh, we probably want Discord to go in here so that you guys can actually hear it too. How's that looking? Yeah, should be fine. Imagine Firefox spinning up a separate instance for every person that joins. What does that program do? Oh, I just... I can pipe all of my audio. I've created separate things for what you guys can hear on stream, for the background music and the live audio. This is what I actually hear. So I can hear myself in my mic, can hear random stuff that plays, also my background music and stuff that you guys hear. These are just random Discord Firefox tabs I have open. Oh, also I have these are my screen captures. One of these is my Screen capture. This is... Yeah, I don't know which one is which. One of them is my puppet and one of them is normal screen capture. Oh, that's neat. Yeah, dude. Oops, sorry. That's Pipewire. It's a really nice program. Honestly, I need this part darker. I always used to do something similar to that in OBS, having the game audio and mic audio, so it is Discord separated. Yeah, you can actually do a lot of that in OBS, like, hold on. No, that's the wrong one, I wanted this one. Which is funny because, like, the microphone in OBS, like all of these audios, they have a separate monitor that you can technically, like I could technically just use OBS, have everything input into the correct stuff and then monitor it into my speaker or headphones. It was way simpler than that. It just looks complicated. Promise you it's very boring. You see my dragon, by the way. I also have a sketch that I can overlay. I'm currently doing the shading. There's not a lot of color in dragons. It's mostly green. I don't know how I feel about that. Lego crocodile, yeah. I really need, like, hold on. Can I just... I click the wrong part every time. Can I just overlay a color layer and then set the alpha, make this bigger, make the top kind of blue? How I feel about this? Then we do blending mode, saturation? No, that's not it. Burn. That's also not it. Addition. Oh, now it's shiny. The color, yeah, the color is really Lego crocodile. Color dodge, what is this? Oh, that makes it just more green. Color. Oh, this is the overlay, I think. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do the shading and then start messing with the colors. Is my stream on YouTube still private? For some reason it set all my streams to private. Okay, now it's public. That's good. I don't know why I changed the color down here. Let's get back into the shading layer. Okay. Oh, by the way, I need to rant about my diet. It is so annoying. Like, I just had my rest week, so I wasn't like really focused on getting the protein, getting all the macros. So my diet was just eating breakfast, just like oats with peanut butter, like 500 calories, like not a lot. Then just not eating the entire day. And in the evening just getting 2 frozen pizzas and getting like 1600 calories in one sitting. Because how else are you gonna get that much? But yeah, now I'm back to my what would you call it? Is it a risotto? Maybe. It's just rice with soy granulate and lentils. And it's so much. Why is it so much, dude? Don't starve. No, I'm bulking, that's the problem. But I did gain like, I don't know, maybe 5 kilos the last 3 months. So it is working. For the first time in my life, actually. Like, I've always been trying to bulk, but listen, eating a lot it's work. Am I losing it? Is this shadow too hard? No, this shadow is too soft down here, that's what's up. Ooh, next week I'm gonna start lifting again. It's gonna be fun. Always very different types of people in the gym. Like, I'm in one of these commercial gyms. Some people I'm getting concerned. Some people are just like, I don't know why they are there. But I mean, they paid, so we will. We will. Okay, we're getting finer. We're getting finer. face is gonna be weird. I don't know how to do dragon faces. Honestly, I don't even know how to do claws. This is a wild guess. Also, my 3D printer is currently acting up, which is why we are not doing electronics today. Do you guys read web novels? Is that like a thing people do nowadays, or am I weird? A what? A web novel? Like, do not press Ctrl T in Krita, it does something weird. Like on Royal Road.com. My internet is light. Okay, it's so fast, it's basically light. Yes, it's gonna load, trust me. Did I put in the wrong address? royalroad.com. Okay, maybe Royal Road. Come on. Nope, that's the same address. If I'm ever choking while I'm speaking, it's probably because I'm trying to not throw up. I just ate my last meal like an hour ago, so yeah. Hold on, actually. Ah, there we go. Let me unzip my pants, maybe that will help. Ooh, my stomach can breathe. Listen, I have to eat a lot, okay? This has to go somewhere. And belt is not necessarily helpful in that case. You have like weird novels, things taken out of context. Hold on. I just start clipping these. Oh, there, yeah. Like, Royal Road has like just random novels that are like released chapter by chapter. Okay, this has one chapter. This is a bad example. But they're just released chapter by chapter. So yeah, it's kind of like waiting for a series to release another episode. It's very funny. Actually, it's kind of annoying. That's not dark enough, my friend. Is there a clip discovery system on Twitch? I think there's one on Kick. But I don't know if... Where's my control? There's my control button. Oh, that was too green. I don't know. Oh, well. Gonna have to turn them all into YouTube shorts. Do the pirate software tactic. Not the one where I randomly run out of a dungeon, but the other one where I just start explaining random shit and then clip it and upload it on YouTube. Have you seen the pirate software drama? I have not. Boy, are you unlucky. At the first part, people were like, you know, I think it started with some WoW raid. He ran out of a dungeon when he wasn't supposed to. I don't know, I don't play WoW. And people got mad. And I don't know, maybe he just wasn't very like... I don't know, people just didn't like him for some reason. And then they just started... they just started finding more and more shit, and eventually it got pretty ridiculous. Like, they were digging up code of his he used for the game, like he was like a game developer or something, and they started shit talking the code. And anyone who's like ever coded like in real life, not just like read a book about it or something, watching that video was like, "The fuck are you talking about, bro? This is normal code." I don't remember what the guy was called. Coding Jesus or something? Streamfox. Let's see. Was it Coding Jesus? Pirates of... not CN, come on. No! Damn it. Pirates of... there we go. Are you a fan of this? This... tooth... what do you call it? Toothpaste. Hold on, we need to... need to make you all able to hear this.
Understand, decide, and get it right.
Right here.
I need to
Right here.
make this
Right
easier.
here.
Dynatrace, AI-powered observability where it counts.
Can I pop this out? Nice. Hold on. Professional reaction setup right here. There we go. Let's just watch this, because it's funny. And if I had to suffer, you also have to suffer. What the fuck happened? What? Weird. You have no audio and this doesn't work like I wanted to. Hold on. Why is this back over here? You need to be in here. Okay, let's do it like this. Still, what the fuck do you mean? Why is it?
And isn't right for you to be sold a game as a good, but for it to
Hold on.
effectively be a service with an unknown expiration date that the company can not support at any time. Okay, now why am I picking on Thor here in particular?
If I
Well,
pause this.
Thor has not only what appears to be lied about his experience,
Okay, now
or at
it
the
works
very
now.
minimum played it off as something that it's really not, but he's also misrepresented the initiative and has doubled
Hold on,
and
is this a code review? I'm watching the wrong video, aren't I? No, it is. Who am I? Finding the relevant dev streams, magic numbers. I think this is it. Do we still have? God fucking damn it, audio.
I recommend people actually download these VODs before he takes them down, because honestly, if I was claiming I'm a game developer with 20 years of experience, this would be
Okay,
embarrassing
listen.
to have online. Let's take a
This is
look
the
at
stuff I
what's
need.
really wrong about this. And I don't even need to be a game dev to understand that. When you look at the code here, what do you see? You see a lot of magic numbers. That's an industry term for numbers that don't have any description or explanation as to what they are or why they exist.
That's not
And you
the
also have a
industry
lot of
term, by the
true
way.
or false, which is not descriptive at all. When you look at any function call as another developer, you should understand what's going on without needing to read through the implementation of the actual method itself. So part type sprite, part type size, I don't need to read through that to understand what's being passed to it and what it's doing. But that's not what's going on here. I shouldn't need to ask myself, what is this number 1? What is the 0? What does it signify? Right? Imagine we have a car object, and I create the car object by passing in 96, 4, false, false. Do you have any idea about what those numbers mean? How I'm initializing that car? You don't. A step above that, a better alternative would be to specify in words what 96 means. For example, unsigned 32-bit integer horsepower equals 96. Number of doors equals 4. Is automatic equals false. Is electric equals false. And then pass that into the construction of car. That is the bare minimum. That's what I would expect out of an intern.
Okay, the bare minimum, my man. Okay, first, magic numbers are codes you give into things so that they work. They are sanity checks for your program that tell you, oh, okay, this is the thing I expect it to be, and not just some, I don't know, like example, if you have like, like a USB bus, right? You send a packet over the USB and it starts with like a 0 or 1 and those alternate so that you know, oh, this isn't just some random noise I'm picking up, this is actually a packet. Okay, that's a magic number, first of all. Second of all, this man wants us to add like you see like the amount of numbers that are like the amount of numbers in here, right? This man wants us to like for every one of these put in like 4 of these like, oh, it's is automatic, is electric. Like that way you have to like scroll through like pages of code just to get to the part you want. Okay, first of all, fucking insane. Who does that? And like we expect people to have like some IDE or like some development environment. No one's coding in like text editor. Like you're gonna have a way to check what parameter is what. Okay, this is what we call the wall of trust me, bro. It's probably in most codes somewhere, like, okay, yeah, we just wanted it to look pretty, this is how you do it. Good luck with that. Like no one is doing this. I have never seen this in my life. Unless you have like one function or something. But like if you have like 10 calls, why would you do that? Also, as someone who doesn't trust my compiler, I don't want my compiler to think, oh, he's creating a variable, I need to create a variable. And then I need to pass this variable in here. No, I want the compiler to directly put the number in here. Usually, compilers do that automatically, it's called constant folding. But my trust issues don't let me do compiler stuff like that. Okay, I want to code simple as possible. Hold on, what the fuck does he want? What he wants? Wrapper classes for integers? That is insane. Who does that? Why is there no audio again? God damn it, every time I pause. You know what? We're just gonna give you my desktop audio now. I don't care. We will get the background music. That was not the background music. Actually, it might be the background music. Okay, never mind, you can't do that. Okay, then we're gonna do this. And then we will do this. Can you hear it now?
Than whatever Thor has here. Another really good example of that is at 2556.
Okay, perfect.
So if we jump gasoline, you don't further, you can implement a concept called strong typing, which is the most expressive form of instantiation. What we can do in that case is define an alias at the bare minimum or a class, and we can call it horsepower. And then we can create an enumeration for things like transmission or fuel. And then we'd alter the car's constructor and pass in that information. Horsepower 98, door number 4, transmission automatic, fuel gasoline. You don't need to be a game developer to know that that's a lot more.
Okay, so this man thinks it would be a great idea to, instead of just punching in the numbers like this, create an entire class just so you can punch in the numbers into that class. Like, just at this point, just if you really wanted, just write a comment on top of this. What the fuck are we doing? No, no
more
one does that.
maintainable than whatever Thor has here. Another really good example of that is at 2556. So
Like,
if we
that's some
jump
stuff
there,
you do for
okay, right here. Alarm 0,
or when you
alarm
have to
1,
use
alarm
this
2.
function a lot.
What is that? What are those alarms?
If you just have a bunch of
Is it
function
an
used
alarm
like
for
once and
person
have to set
A,
the
an alarm
numbers,
for
why
whatever
would you do
character,
that?
an alarm to do what? It's unexpressive, it's really spaghetti code in my opinion.
Okay, hold on.
0, alarm 1, alarm 2. What is that? What are those alarms?
Stop making objects. Alarm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, I assume this is just a... What was he trying to do here? I assume it's just an array with a bunch of alarms, right? Like... What do you mean, what are those alarms? Those are alarms numbered 0 to 5. There's not always a deep meaning to this.
Is it an alarm for person A, an alarm for whatever character, an alarm to do what? It's unexpressive, it's really spaghetti code in my opinion.
What do you mean spaghetti?
Okay.
It's just an array of alarms. What the fuck is this? Why is it maximized again? Hello? Why can't I pull this down anymore? Can I skip this? Thank you. Okay, I don't think I can. Hold on. There we go.
Or is using the incorrect alarm 2. What is that? What are those alarms?
Good
Is
question.
it an alarm for person A, an
It's
alarm
just
for
an
whatever
array. It's
character,
not that deep, bro.
an alarm to do what? It's unexpressive, it's really spaghetti code in my opinion. Okay, let's go to around 1 hour and 4 minutes. This is also a complete mess for a couple of reasons. First of all, Thor is using the incorrect data types. This isn't even getting to some sort of advanced design or design pattern. It's showing a complete lack of understanding how to represent information in a program. Okay? What do I mean by that? Well, look at question asked equals 0. Question asked, in my opinion, is true or false. Has this question been asked? It should be a Boolean data type. What does 0 mean? Booleans are represented as integers under the hood. So in C++, anything that isn't 0 is true. So 1 is true. But why would you even give another developer the option to write question asked equals 42? In theory, that should be true.
Now I don't know which language he's using. Maybe Booleans just don't exist, like in C. But you know, could be the case. I don't know if he's using C++. It doesn't... I don't know, it doesn't look like C++, not gonna lie.
Because anything other than 0 is true, but why even allow somebody to write code that can potentially be that confusing? It's just a no-go. Another thing here that I know...
What if you have a maybe? Huh? Ever thought about that one? Okay, could be that you have a maybe. Question asked, maybe, who knows? Question true, if it's a question. Maybe you have different types of question. Okay, who knows? Maybe Booleans
Notice
don't
is the
exist.
absurd amount of comments.
Otherwise you wouldn't
Most
do
of the
equals
time,
1,
you
right?
don't need to write
You would
comments
just
in your code. That's because your
do
code
if question
should
true.
be self-documented.
Never thought about that
But
one.
there is a 1 to 5% case rate in which you should be writing comments only if your code is extremely complex. And that's not the case here. This is a simple if statement and a simple switch statement. You don't need to add comments here. Having
Okay,
a
that's kinda
comment
true.
for we have asked the question and question asks equals 1 is totally superfluous, a waste of time, a waste of space. I'm not sure why it was added.
Okay, now we are
not just to
concerned about waste
time
of
on a dev
space, but
stream, to spend more time
that's
pretending
kind of
you're
true.
coding
This
than
comment
watching videos.
are a bit unnecessary.
Okay, let's take a look at his second stream, because the rest of this stream is reviewing other games, looking at his subscription count. I don't know why he gets so horny looking at this. Watching
This guy
video
really
games,
hates him, dude.
etc. You guys get the point.
It's just a hate
Storyline
number.
array number. Oh my god. Here he appears to be storing a timeline of events in a flat one-dimensional array with random numbers as the indices in order to represent said event. So
Bro has true hate in
literally
his heart,
anything
yes.
would be an upgrade over what is written here. For example, what he could have done is created a nested structure where all of those
Okay, hold
default
on.
values, instead of being hard-coded and written in some file, can simply be stored in a YAML or configuration file that could be edited outside of the build, as to not waste time rebuilding the entire application, in a YAML or XML format. That's Development 101. You learn it in the first week of your new job as either an intern or a junior developer.
Yeah, because everyone is using
What's even
YAML
worse
or
is
XML.
he now also needs to remember what 419
Rather is coming from web
means.
development
So
and
somewhere
it's
in his
showing.
code, he needs to actually add a comment or something to represent what a 419 is. As you can see here, I found the file
Yeah.
that contains all
Okay.
these events, which are the association with
This one's a bit hard to defend, okay? I'm not gonna lie. This one, usually if you have stuff like this where every part in the array like represents something different, like gym, void, closet, you would just use a something called the struct, which I don't know if it exists in his language again. So usually you have something like a struct where you hold on. Struct C. Can we struct? Okay, you have like int my number, and then everything has a name, and you can access it with the name. So like s dot my number. If structs don't exist, usually objects exist. There is a case to be made to not use objects, because like Java objects have a bunch of overhead you might not want, so array would be cheaper in that case. And maybe in Java, I don't know how Java works that deep. Maybe the arrangement in the memory is also different, so in that case you would have to use an array to keep the arrangement. But even in that case, don't use the fucking numbers. Like, you can assign names to numbers with, like, I haven't seen a programming language that doesn't have this. Where you just list like a bunch of names, and you can then just like east, north, west, south, which is then equal to 0, 1, 2, 3. I think might also be 1, 2, 3, 4. But you can assign names to numbers, so you don't have to do whatever the fuck this is.
between a magic number and some state.
But
It's
YAML
very
files and
obvious that this can
XMLs,
get
I don't know what
very
the fuck he's talking
unwieldy
about.
extremely quickly.
I never
As you
seen
can see here,
anyone
he has
like
some
in
number
web development you might do
associated
that.
with 0,
But
1, or even 2, and then he
Yeah.
needs to detail in a comment what that means. Now, imagine a developer accidentally puts 2 here or 3. Finding, tracking, and solving that bug is really going to be a development nightmare.
yeah,
What if
That's
you
true.
forget to type 3 here and it accidentally type 2 and start associating coffee cold knowledge with floor 2 coffee age? Or even worse, in your code somewhere, instead of typing 213, you type 214, and now need to go back and track why your game is misbehaving. This is extremely poor practice and can get very messy very quickly. Not only that, but this is going to significantly decrease the velocity of your development, because you're going to need to jump between the storyline vars file, find the event you want to reference somewhere else in code, and go back to that line that you like to reference the event in. So you're going to constantly need to be jumping between files, forgetting, potentially mistyping, and
Yeah,
it's
in this
just a
case,
recipe
use
for
the struct
disaster.
or an enum.
When it comes to the nested structure, though, tell me what you think is better. What Thor has here, or what I have on screen, which in my opinion is much more expressive. Now, this goes beyond simply liking code better. What I have on screen is objectively better because it makes it harder for you and others to make mistakes, and it's a lot clearer
Hold
as to
on.
what's...
I need to see what the fuck he's doing. Global.story. Shop double colon? What language is this, bro? Is angry false, was spoken to false. Yeah. You can do that, but... Yeah, I think this is the struct I was talking about, just in his language. And he's using booleans for everything. You can do nested structures, they will simply be linear in memory, so in memory this will just be is angry, was spoken to, counter has money. Like there's no cashier, it's just the point where the stuff is. If used, yeah, this is how I would recommend doing it. Yeah, he's correct on this one.
As to what's going on. I don't even need to know how this game is designed to understand that whatever he's doing here is not optimal.
Yeah,
I also don't need to recommend the most optimal data structure, because literally anything would be better than this. Another thing that's really, really weird is that he's using these numbers to represent people, and now everywhere he writes the number 1 and when it represents a person, he needs to remember that it's Shelly, which is presumably a game character. Imagine removing all these comments. Would you, as a newly added game developer to his game project, have any idea that 1 is Shelly? You would have no idea. This would never ever be allowed in a production repository, and like I've been hinting, it's below what you'd expect of a bottom tier intern. One way to improve this is to write case and then switch on enumeration. So case character
I was
Shelly.
once a bottom tier intern.
That is
this
way better to whatever
we were doing
here.
some way worse stuff.
Another example is at 159. More magic numbers, 32. What does message 32 mean? What does message 65 mean? What does message 97 mean? And what are these dialogue options?
Switch core message case. I mean, not every language can do switch case with strings or something. I guess you can use enums, which might work, but he has comments above it. Like, what's the problem, bro?
2560. This is a culmination of my past couple of comments,
Active dialogue
all in one
options.
scheming pile of. Surprisingly, that is all the code that I can find in these
Those
game
magic
developer
numbers.
streams.
This is
What
the
he
game
calls
number.
magic numbers are
Now
fine.
understand something before I send you this link. Do not buy my game.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck he's on about. Like, I'm pretty sure this guy is like a
What is
web
up, guys?
dev.
Coding Jesus here.
Hello?
Guys, in today's video,
Can you
I
not
want to review
autoplay,
the
please?
top...
Thank you. But yeah, the hate at some point got a little ridiculous. Like, I can understand that it's not code that you would write, since it's like, how would you say? Like, if you write web dev stuff, it's gonna be very different from like game development, because like the optimization requirements are completely different. like for microcontrollers, like I'm trying to get my instructions down as much as possible, the size down, so I can keep the I have to watch how much stuff I have in RAM because I just have like a few kilobytes of RAM and stuff. I assume if you're going doing game dev, it's gonna be similar optimizations, just on a very different scale, since you're also like using the hardware to the maximum. Just the hardware is like a full CPU and operating system in this case. But if you're moving like I mean, if you're moving a couple buttons on a web page, it's gonna be very different, you know. Is this looking okay? Yeah, that looks meaty. And I want to do the face. What did I sketch for the face? Oh. Actually, this looks wrong. I think I need this to continue through. Kinda. Okay, like this. Yeah, this looks better. Typical drama. Yeah, typical drama. But this was like compounding like a bunch of different dramas, like everyone was kind of piling on. I never actually watched the guy. I couldn't. He was bass boosting his mic so hard. I don't know if it was my headphones, but Jesus Christ, that was not pleasant to listen to. No, I need this darker. Ooh, very dark. It was funny. If I press this button, suddenly it's a lot smudgier. Ah. Kinda has some style to it, not gonna lie. Oops, I don't think that's supposed to be dark, is it? Oh no, it is. Wait, where's the spine? Ooh, the spine is like this. Hold on, I need this to come up a lot more. I need this to be like... Yeah, now talking. What's the time saying? Almost 10 o'clock. Can I move my fucking mouse? Thank you. You know what? I think I'm going to sleep. You know, for once on time. So I'm currently in process of setting up a... Oh, we got new memes, hold on. Can I pop this out? I don't think so. Well, unlucky. Quest of going to bed at a reasonable time. Listen. It's hard, okay? It's hard. You would think going to the gym would make you tired, but no. Actually, I found out that I have a way to not fall asleep while studying. It's called drinking coffee. The problem is that after the coffee wears off, I crash hard. Like I was going and like I was doing groceries in the store and I feel like my eyes like just fall shut. Like, oh, I need to stay awake until I'm home. This is not gonna be fun. But on the way back it was a bit easier because I walk like with all my groceries and it's uphill all the way. So you kinda stay awake just by virtue of your heart rate. Well, have a good night. Sleep tight. Love you all. Bye bye.